This man is a former East versus West left-handed world champion, EAF champion, WAF world champion, and one of the most decorated arm wrestlers in the division. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome, representing Moldova, Daniel Procopciuc. The introduction of our next athlete, who is a multiple national champion, EAF European champion, WAF world champion, and is also the reigning and defending East versus West lightweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Artur Makarov!
And it was too little, too late. And here we are. Once again, we see we got a match. Arthur, so talented when it comes to the relationship between his and the champ needs to do. And rarely do you see Daniel running away from the table here. It just shows how extraordinary this champ, no doubt, but we see a little different in the change here. Now Daniel, definitely, he's gonna eat that. The best strategy for Procopciuc. Absolutely smother the athlete, the champion, and here we go. Daniel, much more in control. This is what we all thought we would see. These two amazing athletes, and listen, we got a match here. Make some noise, Istanbul. Who's it gonna be? Look at the peak on the bicep of the Moldovan athlete. Daniel Procopciuc is in an absolute beautiful position. Kneel pickup. Procopciuc will win round 2. Here we go. That's gotta be close, and let's give it up. My goodness, this is going to has set up, getting his hand and wrist compromised. The side pressure was too much in round 1. You see him in round 2 here. Absolutely smothering the middle of the table, leaning forward in the hook. This is a great matchup here.
Match of the night, in my opinion, coming in here. I really loved this match as soon as it was announced, and I was hoping that it would deliver.
Kept telling the ref, tighter, tighter. You saw Makarov now with a bit looser strap, but it seems that this thing has no choice but to go in a hook. My goodness, Daniel Procopciuc. What an absolute beast. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing the superb level of Makarov still.
Yeah, blasted it in there, and just as he started to try to slide his elbow forward to increase his leverage, he lost traction on the elbow, and
Daniel Procopciuc.
Here we
and
go.
you can see
Ladies and gentlemen, we are deep inside the match. Hits the hook, and Daniel Procopciuc seats himself as Makarov goes on an enormous offensive there, tries to power through Procopciuc's arm, and exactly right. Travis Pagent with the call, he will go on an ultra offensive. I don't think that was a pin.
Look here.
I don't think that was a pin. It didn't look like it from where we were sat, but we will see it on the replay and below the level of the pad, and the referee's right on top of it.
It is very close, Neil, but listen, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Makarov is still in this. He's a little more comfortable, not really fighting the position of Daniel, accepting it and going right into the match. Makarov, very impressive here.
Fantastic drive. Not there yet, and Daniel Procopciuc hanging on to it now. If he can create that stop, Daniel Procopciuc could really do damage to Makarov here. Calling that elbow. Makarov's elbow.
Elbow. Foul was before.
And it's a foul, I believe, to Artur Makarov. Elbow off the back of the pad.
Daniel Procopciuc in a hook.
Clearly off the back with the elbow. And the funny thing was there, Daniel was calling that way early. He was saying foul, foul. And if you watch, he hasn't moved at all. And it is off.
Back there in order to finish.
Don't move.
Look at the attack from Makarov. Procopciuc hanging on to it, and that is a solid position. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deep inside there, and Daniel Procopciuc sets that hook and gets the brakes firmly applied. Battle of attrition at this stage, and Makarov isn't going away. Enormous drag, trying to drive down. Needs to be careful, already onto the foul.
Look here for.
And look again on the overhead. It's the elbow of Makarov. Very committed. Whoa.
And I like that. I like that aggression. Daniel understanding that he needs to win at the beginning of the match. Holding on doesn't seem to be working here. Oh my goodness, I think the best of the champ just showed up. Ladies and gentlemen, what a performance. And the reigning world does what the champ is supposed to do. Not an easy victory at all, but as the time went on, even though the hook was set by Daniel Procopciuc, Artur Makarov, an absolute animal.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is the champion of the world at East versus West. Please stand up and show your appreciation for Artur Makarov!